is up, everybody? I'm Courtney, and of course, we have our ghost host with the most, Sean, who's fashionably late every podcast. Yes, we're going to start getting on him. But while we wait for him, tonight we have some special guests with Chasing Spirits Paranormal. So I'm super excited to welcome them to the show. I'm going to give Sean about 10 more seconds to sit down. Since
I'm coming.
Since he's standing right here. But how's everybody doing? I mean, I know we didn't.
What's up, everybody? Sorry I'm late. I'm late.
Yes.
Get back.
Finally, welcome.
I'm sorry. I was killing people on Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, they started a war with me. I had to finish it. I'm sorry.
So, yeah, we missed y'all.
I can't let people shoot me and get away with it.
I'm going to wait a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to bring on our guests. I know there's a lot of super awesome podcasts that go on Tuesday nights. Most of them are at 9 p.m. We've got the Totally Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show at 9 p.m.
Y'all check them out.
And several other podcasts that go on. So definitely make sure you tune into those. But without further ado, I'm going to bring on and welcome Paige. Looks like Paige, Jeff, and Henry with Chasing Spirits Paranormal. But all I see is Paige.
Yes.
Oh, there's somebody. Hi. Who are you?
No,
There they all are.
They're all here.
All right. We all got to get close, like you do for a photograph.
I can't do that. One's my husband, one's my other husband. Too close.
Oh, Lord. 2 husbands.
Right.
I can deal with only one, so you're doing better than me.
Oh, God, it's challenging.
So tell me a little bit about Chasing Spirits Paranormal.
Henry, that's your job.
Well, hello.
What's up?
Hello, Henry.
How are you? Well, we started off as On the Night Train with Jeff and Henry and Jeff. Then we switched over to Chasing Spirits Paranormal.
Why? Because
we added 2.
Yes.
And basically what happens is Paige came up with this idea, let's have a podcast. We were all at a party. And she liked the banter that Jeff and I were saying back and forth to each other. So that's how it started. And then the discussion was, all right, what are we going to talk about? Then we came up with, let's just talk about everything. And then all of a sudden it just morphed into the paranormal.
Sounds like our show.
Yes. We've talked about, we've done historical ghost hunts.
Cryptids, UFOs.
UFOs, Bigfoot.
If it's paranormal, we'll cover it.
Try to anyway.
At least cover. Yeah. And yes, we always have a drink. See my wine? Yes, wine.
All right. I'm with you. I'm with you on the wine. Ronnie Anderson. Hello. Shout out Bedford Paranormal here in Virginia. Where are you guys from?
So, Ronnie?
Richmond.
Sure, just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Be more specific than North Chesterfield area.
Okay. All right. A lot of awesome teams up in your area. Sorry, I've got like a gnat flying around. So if you see me swatting at the air, I don't know what's going on.
We have some people up that way.
I'm not crazy, I promise.
Yeah, you're in the paranormal. It's okay.
Exactly. Well, your podcast, definitely, where can I find this?
We're on Spotify. It's our primary, but we're also on Apple and all the major platforms.
Okay. Awesome. And it's just Chasing Spirits Paranormal, or do you have?
And we also have the YouTube.
Okay.
Where we do our.
Give it a follow. John Sullivan, Fredericksburg Paranormal. How are you? Can't wait to see y'all on Saturday.
What's up, John?
Yeah, podcast sounds like something I'd definitely be interested in listening to. Namely because it sounds a whole lot like ours. We just talk about everything.
FPRI in the house. What's up?
So how long have you guys been a team?
3 years.
3 years, yeah.
3 years.
Okay.
What got you guys started? Like into the paranormal? Like what got you interested in doing it?
Oh, well.
A lifelong interest, really?
Yeah, basically. I saw my first ghost when I was 18. And was in a combat zone. And for me, that was my first creepy experience.
And Henry out of the group is the sensitive.
Yeah, he's the one who ghosts seem to like.
I don't know why.
Okay.
Because you're a big teddy bear.
Now you said combat zone. Did you serve in the military?
Yes, I did. I did 20 years, 4 years in the Marine Corps and 16 years in the Army.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. We love our fellow veterans over here.
Are you both veterans?
I am not. Sean was.
Oh, outstanding.
Is, I guess.
What
Don't
branch?
should-
Was
Shouldn't say was.
I'm still here.
He is a veteran.
Yeah. So thank you for your service. I appreciate that. I know it's kind of a sensitive topic, but I would love to hear your story if you'd like to share it, like about the ghost you saw in the combat zone, because that's definitely something that would freak me out. I mean, you're already on edge.
Well, there were times, you're not constantly on alert all the time. I do remember I was stationed with the multi-peacekeeping force. I was over in Lebanon. I was a Marine. And we took over the Scientific University of Beirut, and we turned it into our operations area for our company. And there was a lot of fighting between the Hezbollah, the Phalange, and God only knows who else. That was right there in that building. There's still bloodstains on the floor. And they rotate the electricity. So I just got off duty. And I remember that I went down to the lounge area to go get a Pepsi, or what we called, it was basically the old audiovisual room. I went in there, I got myself a Pepsi, and all of a sudden the lights are up. But you ever realize, like, sometimes in the dark you can make out a silhouette?
Yes.
Well, I saw a silhouette of a soldier in a baggy uniform, so I thought it was another Marine. I walked past him, and he said nothing to me, and I started talking to him just to see if I could recognize his voice. And still nothing. I mean, he was probably about, I would say, 6 foot, very lean. And if I didn't stop and talk with this thing, and then I put my hand, reached out my hand to touch his shoulder, and the hand went straight to the wall.
So you went through him.
I went through him. And that kind of freaked me out. So I stepped back, and the only thing I could remember saying is, well, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta go. I gotta leave.
That's a good time to say that.
Yeah, I think I would have exited stage left quickly.
Anyway, if I didn't stop and screw around with that ghost, of course, we were getting shelled that night, and a mortar went off. And if I would have been caught right in the middle of that mortar attack.
So the ghost saved your life.
Yeah.
Basically.
We're thankful for the ghost.
For sure.
And so then I told my buddies about it, and one of them came over to me a couple of days later. He's just like, I saw it in the same place.
Huh.
And so then I had to go walk guard duty with the third because he was scared.
Uh-oh.
So he left his post. He ran upstairs to come and get me so I could walk with him.
Okay.
And he's like, it's here, man. I know it's here. I saw it. And this is the same guy that shot out a mirror. You know?
Well, I think that's an interesting topic. Spirits that are there to provide a service.
Yeah.
We were kind of talking, Sean and I talk amongst ourselves quite a bit just about different things. Really quick before I go into that, Mike, Shonda, FPRI, Fredericksburg Paranormal, how are you guys?
What's up?
Spirit of Clover Hill, excellent location if you guys are looking for somewhere to investigate in Appomattox, Clover Hill Village. We just did that on Saturday. Great hosts, great hospitality. We're a big one on pricing and their fee goes back into historical restoration, which is what we're into as well. So that's a big deal. Clover Hill Village, Appomattox. But I do want to touch a little bit on the spirits that serve a purpose. We recently had a psychic reading. Shout out Kim Sage. I don't know if you guys know her in that area, but we had a loved one that passed away recently, and there's a lot of questions. Okay.
Right.
So we reached out to Kim, and she did a reading for us. And one of the things do you mind if I share one of the things that she said? Okay.
No.
One of the things that she said was that this loved one is going to come through our paranormal equipment and try to communicate.
Wow.
So this past weekend, we were at Clover Hill Village, and we were sitting in the chapel, and there were two different conversations going on. Sean had done the Estes method for the first time. And
I know I'm late.
there were he's our tech guy, so he doesn't always get to play with everything. He just gets to set it up and monitor, right? So we were in two different conversations. It was two of our investigators, myself and another investigator, Chad, on our team, and he was experiencing some hateful spirits. Okay. And so he wanted some answers through the spirit box as to why the angry spirit was messing with him. So it took me a second to realize that the loved one that passed away recently was coming through the spirit box. So I finally added 2 + 2 = 4. And the conversation that happened was all surrounding a lot of the questions. So Sean and I ended up, talking about this the very next day over lunch. And the thing that came up was spirits that manifest in a way to almost like protect us or prevent us, in your case, prevent you from getting hurt or injured or killed, for that matter. And so I feel like my personal belief on it is that certain spirits will come through and serve a purpose.
Oh, sure.
What is your guys' opinion on that?
No, I believe in that. Honestly, I told my mother about this, and I have an aunt that's a Franciscan nun, and well, she was, and of course they thought it was Jesus, and I'm like, I think Jesus has got better things to do than visit me.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I've heard stories about that where spirits come back and they actually manifest themselves and they do protect.
Yeah.
I know a story during World War II of a doctor who was actually a ghost, and he knocked on a door, and he was in the full World War II regalia, the helmet, the jacket. He actually was corporeal. He was just like I'd look at Jeff. And for some reason, this gentleman that he went to the door for was able to survive a sniper attack.
Wow.
So he saved a life.
He saved a life.
He's still a doctor even when he's dead.
Yeah.
I believe that. I do.
Oh yeah.
So what is your take? Because that's another topic that we ended up in, is what is your take? And I love asking other paranormal teams their opinion on this. And I completely just lost my damn train of thought. Shit.
Well, the reason why I asked, why'd you guys get started? Because I like hearing these.
Let me write it down. I remember.
I like hearing, why people get involved, because everybody investigates for different reasons. My reason's different than yours. It's different than Courtney's. It's different than the rest of my team. And so I like hearing why people do this. Some people do it because they like the thrill of going out into a haunted location and seeing if they can catch a ghost. Some people do it for scientific reasons. Some people do it because they're skeptics and don't believe it's real and want to see if something happens. So, a lot of people have the same, and I noticed that a lot of teams and a lot of people do it for the same common reason, is because they had an experience. So I think your story's different than, I've heard before. and I love that story.
Thank you.
You know, that's cool. It's one I'll probably share. I won't share who told me, but I think that's a really cool story. What about the rest of your team? How about the other two that's with you?
Oh, Jeff and I.
For me, it was more out of curiosity because I grew up as a kid reading, about the supernatural, UFOs, and stuff like that, and it's always kind of stuck with me. I mean, for me, I'm not as sensitive as Henry, but what's interesting nowadays is that now you have electronic instruments that can pick up stuff that you can't see. And what was interesting is that there's so many different kinds of things where you can kind of like the LDRs and the ghosts. I mean, even on the phones, some of the instruments that you use, I mean, just like the Ghost Walker Ghost Talk, that you can actually kind of sense the devices will sense what is going on. And that kind of fascinated me. The only thing is that sometimes if you go out on a ghost watch, if it's really it can drain your batteries on different devices too. Because one of our team members, we went to the haunted winery out there in Jetersville, and we went out there searching around. We found a whole bunch of entities and stuff. And our one friend had headphones on, and he was searching
His metal detector.
a metal detector, and he had a full charge on his batteries. But there's one thing that I found is that they will drain your batteries if it's a real, I guess,
A real thing.
depending on how powerful it is.
He had his headphones on for his metal detector, and those aren't used to pick up like voices. It's just for tones. And he had a voice come through and said, "What? Get out!"
Yeah.
And that's when his battery dropped, and he said, we're gone.
We're done."
And this place out there in Jetersville, the haunted winery, is definitely haunted because the two people that live out there, they've had a lot of really
Interesting experiences.
bad stuff happen to them. And the thing is, they can't get out of it because it was a huge investment. And it was interesting because the lady of the house, the winery, she wanted. I mean, it was so bad that she wanted to burn the house down. And when she did that, I guess
it calmed down for a bit.
It calmed down, but she actually got thrown across the room, and it hurt her back when she did.
It broke her femur.
Yeah, broke her femur.
Great day.
Yeah.
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 And the thing is that this is an old Civil War house. General Lee was there, and it was like towards the end of the Civil War. So a lot of the Civil War soldiers were out in the back. There's a huge backyard back there where they would camp out and everything.
It was a field hospital.
Yeah.
The plantation house is used as field hospital, as a lot were. So there's still a blood stain on the floor, and
down in the basement was a
jail cell,
and that's where the blood stain was.
No. It was in the bathroom.
The bathroom, the second floor, has a blood stain from where a Union captain hemorrhaged.
So
Lord,
it's kind of
what?
What's this place called?
The Haunted Vineyard. It's in Jetersville.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm down for wine and ghosts.
Yeah, great wine, by the way. They have I think the plantation was originally known as Selma Plantation.
Okay.
Owned by the Southall family.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, we've heard of that.
Yeah, that's it.
I actually think there's a story about it in that book that I bought, The Spirits of Virginia.
Yeah.
Could be.
I think so.
There's a blood stain on the bathroom floor and there's hardwood floor, and it's still there.
And they just have they've got some really bad juju in that house because it will attack them. And they just had bad health problems since they moved in there. One of their dogs died.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I felt horrible. And I found out about the dog because that dog and I bonded.
Yeah. Lovely people, though. Very,
Yeah.
Very gracious people.
But the house was empty for a while. And apparently some people got in there, did some rituals, and we think they might have stirred some stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to touch when you started talking about equipment of today. Like, we're going to talk about the phone apps because I ask every team about what they feel about phone apps, but we're going to get to that. But, you know, Courtney brought up a point over the weekend about equipment having dual purposes. And that's a new point that I want to bring up to teams about equipment, spirits draining batteries and feeding off energy. We are starting to think that the spirits are feeding off the equipment as well. So yes, equipment we're using it to communicate, but we're thinking that it's also using to feed off the energy that the equipment's putting out as well.
Oh yeah.
So I think we're starting to think that in our research that the equipment is actually giving spirits more energy to communicate with.
Kind of like in a thunderstorm. That's when you get a lot of activity.
Right.
You're feeding off the lightning, all the electricity. I feed off a thunderstorm. So.
Right.
Yeah, in the mental health field, you know, that we work in, the thunderstorms and the rain, well, we believe that it tends to affect how our patients or clients, individuals, whatever word they come up with new for us to call the people we treat, it changes their moods, their attitudes, their feelings and emotions. So we definitely believe in the paranormal world that it does the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Like full moons.
Right. Or if you think about it, like wintertime, you feel kind of like blah because it's like it's dark when you go to work and it's dark when you come home and it's just dark and kind of miserable.
Introducing the dog.
Oh, ours will probably pop in. We like our pet guests.
She's going to pop in probably towards the end.
She's our
She's our Scooby-Doo.
Now, have you taken your dog on investigations with you?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it he, she?
It's a
she.
How does she do?
She does great. She's still a puppy, so she's got that puppy energy and attention span. But she's good.
The first time we took her was at Cold Harbor.
Yeah. She's she's protective of us. So
I feel like if we were to take our dogs, we would just get distracted.
Yeah, you can get distraction.
Yeah, if you took two, probably, because I mean she's just one dog, and you know she's still a puppy and everything, but she's fine.
She likes to sniff around, explore, and she'll like any dog, she's going to find a good scent and go after it. But yeah, she's good.
They say pets can see spirits.
Yeah, that's one reason we have her, because I get to hear at the house. I mean, they just pass through here occasionally, and she and one of the cats will alert us to something that's going on. Like today, she was freaking out. I was like, okay, what's going on here? And I took some video and some pictures. I just got to go through it and see if I can see something.
Yeah, because Paige sent that to me, and she was just barking at
nothing.
Nothing, but you could tell she was freaked out because the fur on the back of her neck was standing straight up.
So something was there for sure.
Something was here. I just don't know what.
Yeah.
So
it was during the day, so none of the neighbors were really around.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody outside for her to bark at because she's protective.
Oh yeah. We love our fur babies, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
But I remembered my train of thought from earlier. You were talking about the story of the doctor from World War II that came back and, actually prevented the sniper attack. And we're trying to bring up new topics to talk about. And this is another thing that we got to speaking about this weekend was when somebody passes away. I want your opinion on this. Let's say, I'm just going to throw out an example. A 5-year-old child passes away unexpectedly. Do you believe that in the spirit world that they stay that age forever?
No.
Why? Please tell me why.
They actually grow.
You think that they actually age like a normal human, like if they were still living?
Yes, they do. I heard from years ago, Sylvia Brown.
Mm-hmm.
She was talking to me. I heard her talk about a story about this young boy who passed away, and his name was the family called him Mikey. By the time they got in contact with him, he's like, "I prefer to be called Michael."
Sounds like Michael grew up.
Yes, and so he's just like, "I have." This is right around 9/11. He's just like, "I'm going to be very busy for a while."
I think unless it's a residual entity where, they just kind of loop the way, when they were alive, I think that's when they stay young. When it's, a residual
maybe
entity. But
you also hear a lot about child ghost.
Yeah.
Right. We've investigated a lot of locations that have young spirits that passed away at a young age, and they still are very much so. But I guess that would be that residual haunting that goes on. But I mean, if you believe that spirits grow at they age, at what point do they stop aging? Because you can't, get old and die in the spirit world.
No.
Ronnie said he disagrees. Do you disagree with them growing, or do you disagree with what I said about them staying the same age? Can you clarify that?
This is a good topic for discussion. I love hearing different opinions. Now, mind you, our podcast is very open. So please, nobody get upset or offended.
No, not at all. We were in. It was not Harper's Ferry. It was.
That's one of my bucket list places.
And we went on one of those tours, and the woman that gave the tour was just tremendous. Janet. And she talked about this. We went to this grave of this boy who died of typhus. His name was Brandon.
No, Connor.
I'm sorry. And we delivered toys to his grave. And we said, we would like to play with you. We said, do believe that he's still a boy. But I do believe, sometimes I'm not saying that they're all going to mature in age. But like Jeff was saying about this loop, where he's going to be continuously 5 years old or 10 years old and reliving that same experience over and over again. Well, Connor was just a really sad story. He died in this town, and nobody knew where his mother and father were. So they buried him in the cemetery. And apparently he loves dogs. And so, yeah, it's
interesting because it's kind of like it's an individual case.
Yeah. I wouldn't say every one of them mature, but no. I guess it's up to the spirit, and if they're ready to move on.
That's an interesting
outlook.
Yeah. I don't know. I love hearing everybody's opinion on it because I don't know.
We don't,
no,
do we?
Nobody knows.
But that's why I like asking questions, because I like hearing everybody's outtake on it.
I mean, not to get too religious, I'm kind of with Ronnie Anderson over here. The reason I ask is because, in my opinion as well, they don't age. I kind of feel like if somebody is sick and passes away, or they're old and frail and pass away, not to get too religious, but I feel like once you cross over, you're healed of all your ailments.
Oh yeah,
and then you're right there, at that current state. So whether you're 80 and you pass away, you're still 80, but you're no longer hurting. You're no longer in that wheelchair. You're now rid of the cancer or any illness that you might have suffered.
But do you go back to your prime, or do you stay this old crippled person, or do you get older, or do you go back to your 20s?
I feel like you
still go back to my 20s.
No kidding, right? I'm about 30, about good.
That's the question I've always had, because if you look at me now, I'm obviously overweight. I don't look like I did when I was fresh out of basic training. I don't look like I did when I was pumping iron and was an athlete, and so like obviously like what do you look like? Obviously what we're eating and doing here on earth is not what, if you read if you depend on what your religion is, this is not what we're supposed to look like or be like. So like what happens when you cross over? Do you?
Hey, Ma.
So that's why I like hi, Mama, I love you. But this is why I like hearing everybody's opinion on it, because it's cool to sit back and wonder like what happens. Do child spirits grow? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't have an opinion because I don't know. So I like hearing everybody else.
Well, I feel like you stay the same age, but you're not like old and decrepit. Like I feel like I said, that's where I go with the whole you're healed. You stay 80, you stay with the same level of, wiseness. Is that a word? Wiseness? It is now.
Wisdom.
Yeah. Well, I like wiseness though. I make up a new word every podcast. We've got to get
like Don King.
Wiseness.
Yeah, I got to get a dictionary just for me. I make up a new word every podcast. But yes, the same level of wisdom, the same knowledge that you gained while on Earth and things like that. But, I don't think that you're, hunched over and crippled and things like that. I think you're standing up straight, you're standing tall. And I also think that there's a almost like a spirit tier. So, in the spirit realm, I think that you have, just like, in Native Americans, they have the elders and things like that. So if there is, an elderly spirit, I feel like they're more the guides to maybe the younger spirits in the spirit world. Mom, you just missed it. I said that. She said, I believe you're healed and free of any worldly ailments or pain. Yes, I 100% agree with that. But I do think that, children that pass away, I think that they, still definitely remain children. We have, I don't know, on the 360. Can you hear me? Am I having technical difficulties?
We can hear you right now.
You might be having.
Okay. All right. Have you guys been to the cabin on the 360 yet?
No.
Okay. So that's up in your area. That's in Mechanicsville. And excellent people. Excellent. Shout out Dennis Eslock, Ryan Jones, Ed Odell, Howie, and Sarah, everybody that's working on Project 360. Shout out to all you guys.
I think it's Project Zero.
Project Zero. Did they change it? I thought it was Project 360.
I don't know.
Mom,
I could be wrong.
But long story short, without giving up too much information, basically there was a homicide back in the 80s that happened that involved a, was she 12 or 13?
I can't remember.
12-year-old child.
She was young.
And we have gotten some compelling EVPs that are from, like, it sounded like it was from the day of her murder. Oh. So where she's actually yelling, "Help me, please," in the EVP. And so it's like almost like time stopped for her right there.
Or was that residual?
I mean,
I watched a movie not too long ago. I watched a movie that's talking about this this very thing. It's a good movie. I'm an old school wrestling fan. I don't know if any of y'all are, but it's about the Von Erich. It's about the Von Erich family, and basically, when the last brother dies, he goes to meet his other brothers at in their farm, and he meets his brother that died first, and he's still a little kid, and he greets his brother as a little kid, and he says, "Hey, you're my older brother," and the brother's still like 5 years old. So I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it. Like I said, I like hearing everybody else's opinion. If spirits age, Ronnie said, child from the 1800s passes from yellow fever to location. We contact with him. Modern day, it's still a child.
Mom said, "Hi, Zuko." Zuko, you got a fan over here.
Yeah,
where are you at?
Zuko ran away, but I'm
Ghost hunting housewives, favorite ladies. Hello, ladies. Hello. Yeah,
hello, ladies.
I think it's definitely a good topic. I think that, I think that's one of those things in the paranormal field that is going to remain with a question mark behind it.
You contacted a kid at Exchange Hotel.
I did.
So I don't know.
I did.
That's a good discussion just now.
Yeah.
All right, so
like I said, I think that's. Do what? Sorry.
What happened at the Exchange Hotel?
I got an apparition.
It wasn't even an apparition. You got the apparition that was cool. She got like a little kid walking across a classroom. Courtney somehow gets more apparitions than anybody I've ever met in my life.
I don't claim. Let me just put a disclaimer out and then I'll let you keep going. I don't claim to be a sensitive. I don't claim to be a medium, psychic, anything like that. But I do believe that I'm in tune with my intuition. So when I walk into a room, I can feel the energy shift. And then if I am able, and again, the reason I say if I am able to ground myself, I can sometimes feel what type of spirit is there. So at the Exchange Hotel in the schoolroom upstairs, I sat in there for a second. And of course, when you enter a schoolroom, automatically you think of school-age children, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I really felt like there was a child almost like surrounding me. And there was a very immature spirit that was surrounding me, is what I was going to say. So when I get those feelings, I start snapping pictures. And they laugh at me because I get a lot of apparitions on camera, which is cool. I snap multiple pictures back to back, like 10, 12 pictures. And then I will go home and, analyze them and find an apparition if there's one there.
It wasn't a picture that you got though.
So
you got it on. Chuck actually got a video.
What happened?
Of
because we're talking.
He panned over on a video, and a light flashed, and then when I went back on the video and paused the light, it was actually a face of a kid walking across at the Exchange Hotel. But what you got at the Exchange Hotel was when you said cornbread, and
oh yeah, a
little kid voice responded back with here.
Cornbread.
There was supposed to be a child slave there by the name of Cornbread, and the voice came back to her on EVP and said here.
Huh.
Yeah. So,
but you do get more apparitions than anybody I've ever known.
And
to get one.
Speaking of one, we got one.
Shout out Daryl Paulette, Bedford Paranormal.
Yeah, and he also runs Clover Hill and Appomattox, so that's who you would reach out to if you guys wanted to investigate that location.
I recommend it.
He says, I think the spirits tend to pull to the time and space they have the strongest memories or moments in their life, so that dictates to the age they may be.
That's another.
That is a really good theory.
I like that.
I love it. So speaking of this past weekend. That's my most recent apparition that I caught on camera. There is a cabin on the property where 12 children were raised in this cabin.
Ooh.
And while I was sitting there, we broke off into groups, and it was me and my stepdaughter, who is 15 and a half. And we were in there, and I was able to ground myself, and I looked at her and I said, there's a teenage spirit in here, a teenage spirit. And she looked at me and she said, I feel like there's an older sibling with that spirit that's protecting the teenager that's in here. And I said, that's interesting. So we had some REM pod activity in there that was intelligent. And I'm getting ready to actually continue reviewing footage, but because I want to see back to see if we caught anything else. But long story short, as I was exiting the house, something told me to turn around and snap pictures. And as I turned around, I snapped a series of, I thought it was 3, but I snapped 4 pictures. And the first one, there is a young lady, appears to be maybe 16, 17 years old, standing in the doorway, clear as day. And then the second picture, she had turned. So it was just her side profile, as though she was walking away. Third and fourth picture, nothing. So, as always, you deal with the pareidolia. So I sent it out to multiple people, and I said, "Hey, what's your take on this?" One of them was Daryl, and he came in here. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you. Because I always want that reassurance to make sure that I'm not just like imagining what I'm seeing.
Exactly.
But I do tend to connect more with child spirits as well as dark entities. Where that came from, I don't know. But that started, what, Sean, 12 years ago, that I can walk into a building and if there's a dark entity, I can immediately identify it, probably walk the hell out of there, depending on how dark it is. Hey, Ryan, that's who you need to contact for Cabin on the 360 right there. Ryan C. Jones. And after this, if you are interested and you are podcast connoisseurs, he does the freaking awesome paranormal show at 9 p.m. on Tuesdays. Always a good time. Always a good time. No bars held on any of these podcasts around here.
Well, something like that. What I would do when you actually felt something or saw something, that's where I whip out my ghost vision. That's it's a LiDAR. And, of course, it utilizes the advanced vision machine using CPU and GPU, where it shows little stick figures if it senses
the kinetic camera.
The kinetic camera.
Oh, the
SLS or XLS?
XLS, yes.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, we got those. We got like 4 of them. Those machines.
Those are really helpful, especially out in nature.
On the woods.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all took
traipsing around.
Definitely.
Yeah. Speaking of SLS and XLS, so you guys utilize this. We always ask all the teams how they feel about them. We're split down the middle right now. We've got teams that hate them and teams that love them. I think with the SLS and the XLS, just like any other piece of equipment we use, we have to be mindful of what we're doing. If I am aiming at a tree and it is mapping a tree, I am not going to tell you that there's a spirit standing right. But if I am in an open space, there's nothing there and a stick figure manifests, and anybody who uses an SLS or an XLS knows, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, because I get the two mixed up constantly, but a dot will start to manifest on the screen prior to the stick figure. Terry, all the way from Texas, NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. This man right here, I've got to give him a shout out. That is the very first podcast we were ever on, and I was petrified because I'm camera shy, and I was like, I did my makeup, I did my hair, I acted like I was going on a Hollywood excursion. Now I don't care. I'm, so many podcasts. Normally my hair's on top of my head looking crazy, but
look at us. We're really down.
Terry, NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast, awesome time there. We're gonna convert you into a Cowboys fan one day. Wink, wink.
Yeah, look at what's in there.
The thing is with those devices though is that you can get a false positive. So what I'll do if I see something, I'll try to get other angles of it to make sure that it is still there and it's not a false positive.
Right.
And when you do that, I mean, obviously something's legit there. At the Haunted Winery, they have one picture on the wall of General Lee. It's got something in there, and I was like, this is kind of weird. Maybe it's just reflecting my image, but I took it from different angles, and it was just the same thing there. And I mean, obviously, objects can also be I don't know if I want to say possessed, but it would have the entity within it. I mean, you hear stuff about like Robert the Doll, or
you want to show this?
Oh yeah, this is. I don't know if you can see that. This is the Robert E. Lee.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
I see it. It's kind of mapping there.
Yeah.
Now, are you using the actual SLS camera with the Kinects system attached to it, or do you have an app on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's one thing I want to do is actually get just the device itself, not just the app, because I think that would be very helpful too.
Right.
Well,
I don't know how expensive they are, but
They run from about $3 to, I've seen them as high as $1,000. Mine that I have ran from $350 to $500-$600.
Where did you get yours?
I got mine. You just get on eBay, type in SLS Connect cameras, and that's where mine came from. eBay. All the ones I have.
Well, your son, who's building his own computer, might be able to do it.
You can actually get the software and build them yourself with a tablet. Just look up the type of tablet you need for it and the Xbox Connect camera and the software. And there's all kinds of tutorial on how to make your own. I've actually got the stuff to make them myself. I just don't have the time to sit here and do it.
And there's a few caveats to making your own too that you have to be mindful of, or not even.
It's really the type of tablet that you have to have. I forgot what type, but you can look it up.
I think it's a Windows tablet.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but the thing to be, a lot of people when they talk about the SLS and XLS, I personally use them. Not all the time, particularly not on every investigation, but I particularly use them. And I will say this: do they have issues? Yes. Do they give you false readings? Yes. Mm-hmm. Have I used them to and have seen them do some things that I cannot explain? Yes. I can share a couple of stories. I can share many stories, but I will share two where I truly believe that I picked up something paranormal. But before I go into those stories, every piece of equipment that we have can be evidence can be debunked. Every piece of equipment that we use can be malfunctioned, even down to the recorder. The best ghost hunting recorder, the DR60 or whatever. I've seen a guy get on YouTube shred the DR60 recorder with evidence about false recordings. I've seen REM pods. I've myself have shredded those. Any piece of equipment can be debunked. My thing is, if you're in the field with equipment and you have evidence that cannot be explained or debunked that you've seen with your eyes and you have witnesses that seen it work, then you might have caught something. Now, when I had my SLS camera, the first time I've seen paranormal activity with it was actually when we were goofing around in our house. We live in a haunted house.
We did not know.
We did not know.
It was haunted when we signed that dotted
line. We were looking for a house that with a garage. We came across a house that had 4 garages, and I was like, wow. And the price was right. We got it. I'm standing outside. I'm looking at it all proud. My neighbor walks up to me and says, "No dude died in that house, right?" And I'm like, "What?"
3 months ago.
That room right upstairs. And I'm like, "Cool, whatever." So I'm with the SLS camera, stick figure pops up out of nowhere and starts moving around. I'm like, interesting. So I'm like, okay, there was nothing to map on that wall. There's no designs in the wall. Then it just goes away. That was the first time I seen anything. But the most paranormal thing that happened was Sachs Bridge at Gettysburg. There's a story where, and it's a documented story where that 3 soldiers were hung on that bridge. And there's arguments as to the location where they were hung on the bridge. So I went to the most common location. I just happened to point the camera where the soldiers were rumored to be hung, and 3 stick figures popped up right there.
Oh.
Where I pointed the camera. And so I said, another investigator was standing beside me. I said, "Do you see this?" He saw it. And so when I looked at the figure and said, "If y'all are really right there, can you raise your hand and wave to me?" And the one in the middle raised his hand first and waved. Then the other one raised, and I said, "Courtney, are you watching this?" And the figures were waving their hand. I said, "All right, stop waving your hand." And they put their hands down. To me, I can't explain that. Maybe it was something wrong with the camera. Maybe, I don't know. But to me, that's something that I can't explain why that happened. Now, if any people in chat or you guys can explain why that happened, somebody tell me. Another instance that I've seen that could have been paranormal was we were investigating a museum, and we had cat balls that were on a banister, and we could not get them to stay on there. It's a flat banister. I put my dip can, which is round, on the banister. to test why they were flying off the banister. We would sit it on there. They would start vibrating, rolling in a circle, and then just shooting off the banister. And all of us, it was about 8 of us or 9 of us in the room. We were trying to fit. We were jumping up and down. I weigh over 400 pounds. I'm jumping up and down trying to figure out how to recreate this scenario. I'm looking for air ducts in the room. I'm trying to figure out why these cat balls are just flying off the banister.
Wow.
I took my SLS camera, pointed to it. There's nothing, no designs in the wall. There's nothing behind it but a hallway. I shine my SLS camera, nothing's manifested. All of a sudden, a short stick figure is manifest up. When the hand of the stick figure reaches up, the cat ball starts moving around in a circle, then flies off, and then the stick figure disappears.
Interesting.
Now, if anybody can debunk that and tell me why that happened or what went on with that camera to make that happen, then cool. I'll take my SLS camera and put it away and not use it anymore. So, again,
that's too many coincidences for something like that.
Right. And I'm not a coincidental person. I like I said, every piece of equipment that we use, including our cameras, can have debunkable evidence, in my opinion. However, if something happens that you cannot explain, or something happens that cannot be debunked, then you might have something. I don't claim that everything that happens is paranormal, but I do love hearing people's opinions about equipment. And nobody's, in my opinion, in this field's right or wrong. I'll listen to everybody all day long, whether people agree with me or disagree with me. I love hearing everybody's theory, because even the people who told me that I'm wrong, I've learned something from them. That's why I love hearing it. I love hearing people's opinions.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to have an open mind like that.
Yeah, I love hearing Ronnie Anderson. I love hearing the stuff he says, because I learned a lot from him. He comments a lot. He's one that is not a big fan of SLS, and he's one that commented about the software issues. That's something that will make me go look up what the software issues are, because maybe I can find better software for the camera. Stuff like that encourages me to maybe find a better solution. That's why I love hearing other sides of the fence on equipment. I love it when people throw things at me that I can maybe research to find to help improve the field.
Well, I think the most important thing too in the paranormal field is, like y'all said, I think it was Jeff said it, is to remain open-minded. And that is a key component in the paranormal field, because if you were to sit here right now and you were to tell me about a personal experience, Daryl said you're swelling Ronnie's head now. Ronnie doesn't believe in shit. I'm going to put it out there, okay? No, I'm just kidding, Ronnie. I'm just kidding.
Ronnie, we love you, man.
Mom says her intuition, everybody who knows Mama D, her intuition is her software.
And my mom doesn't like any equipment.
Mom don't like shit.
None.
Sounds like our Henry. Yes, he does use dowsing rods.
Okay, so now dowsing rods, I'm personally horrible with, but I love watching other people utilize dowsing rods, because I, 1A, consume an ungodly amount of caffeine every day in my life. So I just don't feel like I'm an accurate beacon for use of dowsing rods. But back to what I was saying about the open-mindedness, if you were to tell me a story, Jeff or Paige or Henry, about a personal experience, much like the soldier in the combat zone, who the hell am I to tell you you're wrong? I wasn't there. I don't know what you saw. So therefore, I believe you.
I love personal stories.
You know what I'm saying? I believe you, because I've had some stuff happen to me that I could tell you for days, but you weren't there. So you would probably be like, this chick's crazy. But
you are.
But, people in the paranormal field, para-unity. That's what we need.
Yeah, para-unity.
Because at the end of the day, we are a very close-knit family of people. All right. If we go to a non-believer and we tell them what we do, we hunt ghosts, they're going to be like, what the hell do you do?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's interesting? We have talked to people who we're out doing our whatever we're doing, like doing a road trip, and they're just like, "Well, what are you doing here?" So, "Oh, we're a paranormal team." Next thing you know, we have stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's almost like people have stories, but they don't want to, tell it to other people in the fear that they might be thought of as crazy. But, when you tell someone that what you're doing is, you're searching for, ghosts or entities or, just different things. And, all of a sudden these people will open up to you and they'll be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, over here we got
They'll
this.
look around and then it'll be just like, oh, yeah. Because that happened to us one time. One lady had a dog that passed away and it kept visiting her. But she didn't want to tell anyone.
I believe that. She is not crazy because that is one of my personal experiences. We had a dog for 10 years. We had hardwood floors throughout our house, and you could hear him walking around, like his nails on the hardwood constantly. And then we would hear like phantom barks. And I get it, like his passing was sudden and it was tragic, and we were super upset about it. But like we would look at each other when we heard it, like, did you hear that? I heard that, But then once we finally decided to get another dog, it went away. Or it was masked by the new nails on the floor, one of the two.
Right. But your previous dog might have said, okay, I'm okay now. They're okay now. They got a new pet. They got new member. So right. I can go on now.
Right. So, pets passing and still visiting their loved ones. Absolutely. Like our pets are our protectors. That's like, they're here. I truly believe that they're here as spirit guides but in real form. You know what I'm saying?
So what types of equipment do y'all use? I know you like the SLS and the
dowsing rods.
Dowsing rods. What else?
Rods. We use an EMF detector. So yeah, we're pretty basic. I mean, very basic.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, sometimes I get down back to the basics. But yeah, down is Henry's favorite thing.
Oh my God. I got to tell them the story about Crawford Bridge.
Crawford Bridge, go for it. Crawford Road.
Have you ever been to Crawford Road out in Yorktown?
No, but it's on my bucket list. We're heading out.
Go.
Go.
We went out there, and
that's Bunny Man, right?
No, we didn't.
Oh, wait, no, this is the lady in white.
No, this is just Crawford Road, where
Crawford Road. During the Civil War, the Confederates dumped a lot of bodies over there. And so what happened was we got out, and I'm going to put the cards on the table. I like weed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So does most of America.
This is true.
So I decided to have a gummy before I go to broaden my horizons.
Oh, boy.
So we drove from this house, from our place to Yorktown, and I was high as a kite. And by the time I got out there,
this is a good story.
You were pissed because I was late, and you're like, "You're driving." I'm like, "Okay."
Which I probably should have done, but anyway, okay.
So we got out there, and I had the 2 dowsing rods, and I swear to God, I had them down at my sides, and they were still rotating.
Yeah, they're like helicopter blades, practically.
And you're going to find when you go out to Crawford Road and you go by the bridge, they have all this graffiti that people have put out there through the years. And it was just fascinating.
And Tell them about your friend.
Which one? I had 6 of them that night.
Are these 6 real people?
No.
Cats in the bag.
I was starting to feel nauseous and sick, and they were telling me it's part of being a sensitive. And I'm like, well, this is a gift. I don't want it. But I'd get violently. I almost got to the point where I was just like, guys, we got to go.
Well, the interesting thing about that was that you tried to talk to one of them.
I got into a fight with one.
Yeah, and then
I don't know. For some reason, I could actually feel their voice. I could hear them having a conversation in my head. And he was a sergeant. And so I looked over at him and I was yelling at the street. And I'm like, motherfucker, I was a sergeant too. So don't even give me that.
You sound like me right now.
The thing that was fascinating is that Henry, he found out what one of their names was, and we researched it, and it was an actual person.
Yeah, it was.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now
And
that's
the one thing that I found out that was curious about it is he emphasized that it was mounted infantry,
Confederate, right?
Confederate mounted infantry from the 4th Mississippi.
so he was that specific upon speaking to you.
Yes. He even
Wow.
gave me his name, AJ.
And then
They
we
say
researched it.
though, when you're high, your mind, opens up.
Thank
and
you.
I'm serious.
He's validating the gummies.
Now, let me put a disclaimer. I'm not recommending everybody get high because not everybody is not for everybody.
Well,
but
the
what I
Indians
will
did it.
say is that when you're high, your mind is open more, and spirits can possibly enter your mind better.
The Indians did that. They
The
would
Indians,
smoke
yeah.
peyote.
So that goes back to
Yeah.
Mom's question.
Right here, the Indians didn't use any equipment.
No. Right there.
What did people use?
What did people use before man-made equipment? The Native Americans would actually get high and contact spirits.
Well,
that's documented history.
they would partake in peyote, and then they would send the young men out into the wilderness to become men.
So what you did was actually a part of how historically ghost hunters or paranormal investigators did hundreds of years ago.
You hear that? I was doing good.
I didn't say all that.
We're going to give you a round of applause.
I didn't say all that. But what I am
Tell his
saying,
real wife this, and that's maybe she'll go along with it.
but what I am saying is what you did was a form of paranormal investigating from years ago.
But I mean, it's much like drugs do alter your mind, but they do other things too. Now, I don't partake in weed or anything like that. I know a lot of people that do. I don't knock it. I don't care. First of all, it's a plant. Cool. But it does other things. It relaxes you. It allows you to open up a little bit more and be more free.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I do it every day.
You might open that veil a little bit,
Yeah,
and allow something in that could communicate with you. I'm not like I said, I'm not telling everybody to go out and get high and investigate, but what I am saying is for you, that might have opened that veil and allowed something to speak to you.
He needs to tell you the rest of the story.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got excited. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's more.
There's more.
And it gets
All
funny. So we go get something to eat.
We have to get into the car. And 6 of them followed me
into the car.
Yeah.
into my truck.
There's not enough room.
We were all there, very happy.
We all acted like we knew each other, like we like each other.
So we stopped off at this restaurant where it's on the York, whatever that river
The
is.
river, the York
river.
River. We're at the Yorktown pub.
The Yorktown pub.
Recommended.
Very good food. And so after we were finished, I was sitting over by the edge looking at the river and I was leaning forward. And you got to think, these are people of the Civil War period. So they're all Confederate. And there was this mixed race couple that walked by. And then I started giggling to myself.
I laughed at him too because I knew what he was laughing
And
at.
you knew exactly what I was doing. Because I could feel the expression on this AJ's face. And I was just like, well, you guys lost. You know?
He's like, yep.
Then I could feel them actually go to the edge of the river, over by the reeds, and they turned around and they vanished.
Didn't AJ see a young,
Oh my God,
put together
yes.
young black
Very
lady?
well put together young lady in a bikini.
And he's like, "Oh."
He likes the ladies, apparently.
Well, that's a good thing, but that's okay.
Uh-huh.
You know.
So certain
So
things
y'all went
didn't-
out to eat with these 6 spirits. Did the spirits order food?
No, we had enough appetizers for all of us.
Yeah, we shared.
If
There
they
you go.
wanted it, it was there.
I need to try one of these gummies y'all had.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm coming up there. Send me an address.
Meet us at the Haunted Winery, okay?
I'm okay with it.
Good wine, excellent wine.
We have to go back to the Haunted Winery and really help these people out.
They have, yeah. Just
They are in just such dire straits. We don't. I mean, we find things, and where the plantation house is, there's a driveway, and then there's a grove of trees. There's something in that grove of trees.
There's a portal in that damn house too. You know.
Damn right there is.
I think I found it. I think I found.
We got several teams in here. We got Bedford Paranormal, FPRI. Let's all take a trip to the Haunted Winery.
Okay.
I'm always down for a road trip.
We are always down.
Winery, Great Haven. They're also haunted.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're up in Goochland, Minerals, Gum Springs. Yeah,
Plum Springs.
it's actually where Jeff and I got married. They have. It's another former plantation, and they have slave grades, and it's got activity.
Uh-oh, Mama D sees your shirt over there, Henry.
Well, thank you. It was a birthday present.
Mom is a Sasquatch fan for some reason.
Yeah. We had the opportunity to go live Sasquatch hunting.
What was that guy's name?
The Sasquatch hunter.
He had a name. What's his name though?
I cannot for the life of me.
We need
Are
to
you
check.
talking like the ones that are on TV, like Bobo?
Well, he took us live Sasquatch hunting on our show.
Yeah, but that was the last you ever heard of him.
Yeah, it really was. He had bad signal, and then we kind of cut the podcast, and we never heard from him again.
We need to check on that guy.
Make sure Sasquatch didn't get him.
Exactly. Sasquatch can be bad.
We got Bedford Paranormal that's down for the Haunted Winery.
Yeah, but
Awesome. You guys, I know we're running out of time. Do you have any questions for us? Or is there any other topics that we didn't? I mean, we talked about a whole lot.
Yeah, we did. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram and YouTube and Rumble.
I'm gonna check y'all out.
Yeah, please do. We're all over social media because of me.
You're gonna really love watching me throw up on the side of the road.
Oh, boy.
No, he doesn't do it yet.
Now, I couldn't find you on Facebook. What is your profile picture?
Probably that shoot, hold on. The skeleton with the hand with the cocktail. Hold on.
Okay. All right. I saw like 4 or 5 pages, and I was like, before I follow, I'm just gonna ask them. I thought I was already following you. Maybe it was TikTok. It was one of the social platforms. Okay. All right, cool. Okay. I think I did follow that one. All right, awesome.
Hello, Ghosted Magazine.
Ghosted Magazine. Shout out Ghosted Magazine. They did a whole segment on the cabin as well. You guys definitely want to check that out.
Cabin on the 360.
Awesome content there.
Belgrove Plantation is another one.
Yep, Belgrove Plantation at Port Conway. For sure.
Who do we leave out? We left out one. Oh, and
Clover Hill.
Clover Hill.
Clover Hill, yes.
All those guys, the people that run those places have been in this chat tonight.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
Yep. And another awesome place, Octagon Mansion at 585.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that
I
one.
heard of that.
Yep.
Yeah, we've
Excellent hospitality,
Yeah.
excellent people. Deb and John Cushman. They do dinner with the ghost
Yeah,
out there. The cuisine is phenomenal.
Yes.
It's like 5-star. It's great.
All those locations that we mentioned, we've been to them. We will not hesitate to go back to them.
That's right.
If I say that I'm going to go to them, that means that you'll enjoy it because I'm very picky.
Oh, St. Albans.
St. Albans,
We haven't been there yet.
we haven't been there yet.
But
So I can't speak on it yet.
Ronnie Anderson can
But
attest to St.
if Ronnie
Albans.
says it's good, I'll take his word for it because Ronnie's been straight up with me since I've talked to him.
And that's his home away from home.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
So I do take his word for it.
Go to Shepherdstown, West Virginia. The whole town is haunted.
Shepherd's Den.
Shepherdstown, West
Town.
Virginia.
Shepherdstown, West Virginia. That's not very far.
About
No.
3 hours.
Ghosted is at Belle Grove on August 10th. Awesome. You're gonna love it. I don't know if you've been there before, but if you haven't, you're gonna love it. Did not disappoint. I absolutely am a sucker for an all-night investigation that's active. That's the key. Yeah. And with that being said, we were up until 6 a.m. I think.
Yeah.
Night shift.
6 a.m. in investigating the caretaker's house. So yes, Belle Grove Plantation at Port Conway. But anyway, anybody who wants to find Chasing Spirits Paranormal, they are on every social media platform. I'm just going to put that out there instead of listing them all. Anything, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you're looking, you can find Chasing Spirits Paranormal. They have a podcast. What day does it air?
Sundays.
What time?
Oh, it's whenever time I drop it. Whenever time I publish it. It's usually published in the morning.
Okay.
But
So
I post it. When I do publish, I will post it.
awesome. So check them out. Spotify, Chasing Spirits Paranormal. It's posted every Sunday. Definitely talking about all things normal and paranormal.
Well, normal, that's
Well, normal's like a really weird word.
Right.
on a briar.
And for all those that are listening and tuning in later, you can find us on Facebook, Hill City Paranormal, as well as HCP Paranormal Podcast. Both those are our pages. We're not just crazy with 2 pages.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But I do appreciate you guys joining us. I really do.
Thank
When is
you.
your
This was so much fun. Thank you for having us.
We appreciate you.
investigation? Do you have one
I
up?
think we should do a group hunt.
We can do it.
We can do it. Just let us know.
Yep. Send me an email. We are all about collaboration. Para-unity.
Yay!
Unity.
Absolutely.
We'll have a t-shirt with that on it.
That's right. Well, thanks again, guys. I'm Courtney.
I'm Sean.
We're Hill City Paranormal, Chasing Spirits Paranormal. Have a wonderful night.
Night.
Good night, guys.